Well, let's see how well it does with gripping onto this kind of rock to avoid the water. Right, today I am going to be doing a test and review of a shoe which I've been wearing for the last 2 weeks. So this is going to be the actual run review going on. These are the Asics gel Kanakus, Kanaku 3. My original shoes, I got the gel Kanakus 1 before they even had numbers, and I've loved them, used them until pretty much the grip has disappeared. They're almost like flat shoes now. So these ones I got because I thought brilliant. They're the same style, same make, but it's got some grip back on. So I'm going to go for a trail run up around the hills, about a 15-16 kilometer run, a little bit on path, a little bit on road, a little bit around canal, a little bit over rocks. So I'm going to test how well this material goes and see if it's better or worse than the current ones. What I would say is I went and got my size, the 50 Euro 45, or a US 11 is the size of shoe that I have. And it initially felt a wee bit tighter than my original ones. I think it may just be that the original ones I've been wearing for so long, they're so battered, they're a good 3-4 years old, that maybe it was just like, oh, this is how proper fitting shoes feel like, but it wasn't bad, so it's fine. So I've been wearing for the last 2 weeks, and they've got a little bit more, I've squished in the cushion a little bit, but let's see what it's like on the actual trail just now. Road. Hello sheep. Now this is the kind of environment which, well, first part of the run I've been doing, it's been kind of on road and gentle path. The next bit I'm going to be doing a bit more grassy, stony, over hills. Definitely on road, the shoes are definitely comfortable. They've got that, but they feel heavy, they feel slow. On the bits where I was on more of a trail, just like, you know, a bit more of a rough ground like this stuff, they felt a lot lighter. You could definitely feel some stones in the sole, but on the road they felt slow, they felt heavy. They felt like big heavy weights at the bottom of my feet. So as these are considered trail shoes, they should be better once I'm on the actual trail, but using them on road, definitely not their best location. Anyway, now time for more off-road. Let's go. Whew. Now this is the kind of environment which these shoes are doing well in. Whew. See you later. Although wasn't planning on it, I guess I will be doing a bit of wet water testing of the shoes here. Well, let's see how well it does with gripping onto this kind of rock to avoid the water. Hello sheep. You're going to be featuring in my shoe review. I wonder if that's going to be ruining my path. We'll stay here. Okay, let's see how good the grip is. Oh well, maybe I can avoid. No, can't. Road or grassy path. I go on grassy path. Well, that was just on a really good hill all the way from that reservoir to here. Got a bit of a sweat on there and massively happy with the shoes. On the uphill, fairly rocky uphill. Well, check this cyclist cycling up here. He's got some speed on him. It felt I was just really propelled up the hill there. First time I've done that without actually having to stop and walk. Is that a fly? Flies stuck to my head. So yeah, they did very well there. Wow, on a bike with no suspension. Impressive. Lights on. Oh, okay, so that was a wonderful 14 kilometers hill run there. Some wet bits, some rocky bits, some uphill bits, downhill bits, grassy bits. And these, I am very happy with these. So one of my complaints about this shoe before I went for that run there was that they felt a wee bit tight, but not like the wrong size tight, just like the material is a wee bit too cosseting the foot. But that actually worked out brilliantly up on the rocky bits on the trails. It just felt that my foot was much more planted or much more secure within the shoe. So standing around in the office, walking around the house, these were like, they're a bit tight. Up on the hill, they're like, these are keeping my foot secure. So that was, if you're buying a trail shoe and you're just trying it around in the house and it doesn't feel right, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not right. It just means that you're using them in the wrong location. So there's also quite a lot of adjustability on these. So you'll see there's an extra lace hole there. I have it at kind of at this lowest, so kind of just down here, because I like to have quite a bit of space in the ankles, specifically because I'm going up a lot of hills and I'm bending my ankle quite a lot. So I like to have a good bit of flexibility in here. So although I had a lot of flexibility in here, I wasn't wiggling around in the actual shoe. So there was no heel rub, there was no foot rub. It was well cocooned inside the shoe. So I was quite happy with that. But if you've got smaller feet, maybe smaller ankles, maybe you're not doing hills as much as I am, you might want to change the lace positions going on there. So the biggest bit where this wasn't at its best was on concrete road flat. They felt heavy, they felt slow. They're not running shoes. These are definitely for light trails. At the same time, they're not hill walking shoes. There were a couple of times where I went over a couple of stones. I was like, oh, felt that stone. That was quite serious there. So if there were anything to be changed in this, there may be like a more of a solid underplate going on there. I have got other hill walking, trail running shoes, which have kind of a solid plastic within the sole to stop any stones really digging in and hurt your feet. So that's where this is kind of in between. It's good for fast, gentle trail running, but if you're doing anything too rocky, too bouldery, you may want something which has a solid inside plate inside the sole to protect your foot a little bit. But if you're on stuff with small pebbles, small stones, nothing that's you're going to really twist your ankle or anything on, then these definitely felt fast and they felt light once you got onto the trail. On the road, they felt slow. A lot of the times when on that run there, I would rather run on the grass than run on the concrete. It felt... because they're already so soft. They feel like your foot is beautifully squished inside this as you're running down hills. But on the concrete, it just felt slower. So it felt like I might as well just run on the grass because I feel I'm not losing grip by running on the downhill on some slightly wet grass. This felt grippy enough on that. But I just felt that on the concrete, it was almost too squishy, if that makes any sense. So yeah, for gentle trail running, with some small stones on it, if you want to go fast and you're going uphill, downhill, and you're going over different material, like stones, sand, little bits of muddy bits, these, the gel, the Asics gel, Kanaku 3s, definitely worth a purchase, worth a try. But also, if you are trying them on and you think they're a wee bit too tight, it may be that they feel too tight while you're standing in the shop or while you're standing at your office, at your desk or something. But when you're actually out on the trail, that tightness translates to secureness when running over varied ground. So yeah, I was quite happy with that. So now I am off home to have a cold bath, an ice bath, because that gave my ankles and my knees a good pounding there. So yeah, gel Kanakus, good on the trails, not so good on the roads, not so good on super rocky stuff because you can definitely feel some of the rocks, but otherwise, great shoes. when you're trying to go for a personal best on Strava and something gets in your way of your path. I'm sure they're friendly, but don't quite know how to run past them without getting killed. So